Hey everyone, this is Millennial Investor here with my January update on my stock portfolio using Robinhood. Last month I was at $25,000 and I've contributed about $300 since then, and my portfolio currently sits at $26,090. So an increase of roughly $720 or so, and an overall portfolio increase of about 3%. So doing fairly well right now. In fact, everything across the board is about 3% for me so far, 3 weeks into January of 2018. So that's my single day snapshot. There's a little bit of a dip there, and I'll kind of talk about why that happened. Over the course of the last week, things have been really stable, minus that dip. And over the last month, about $700 or so, and over the last 3 months, about 800 or so. So things have been doing fairly well. I've kind of doubled down on a lot of my monthly dividend stocks. So you might notice that my numbers in a lot of these, like LTC and O and Good, are about twice as much as there were last month. So I have kind of redistributed my money from General Electric, a company that I was invested heavily into, and they weren't performing well, and I just decided to make the decision to sell out of them. So General Electric is currently at $16.26. And when I sold them, they were at $17.64. And I sold 138 shares of those. So had I decided to keep those shares, I would have lost a little bit more than $150 or so. Plus, I wouldn't have earned any of those earnings or gains that I had since then. So it was actually a really smart move to sell out of General Electric, and I hope they do well in the future, but I haven't seen any hint of recovery yet, and I decided to kind of step back from that company and reinvest elsewhere. Okay, most companies are doing fairly good right now, or pretty stable. That dip came from this monthly dividend stock I have. They announced that they were going to be paying settlements or something for the month of January. And they announced also that they weren't going to be paying out a monthly dividend in January, and the second they announced that, their stock price dropped. So dropped about 30% or so. I only had a few $100s invested in them, so it wasn't a major hit. And hopefully we'll see what happens on Monday, if they recover or not. But without a dividend, this is just a penny stock, and people kind of want dividends. That's kind of why they buy this, because it's cheap and it offers a 2-3% dividend on it. So we'll see how that one goes. General Mills, you know what? I should switch to percentages because they're just numbers right now. Okay, General Mills up 7.6%. Disney's kind of still hovering. I don't know quite where they were at last time, but they're at about, you know what? I could just click and find out. Yeah, they've recovered over the last month about 1% or so, and I do have a decent amount of equity in this company, so I'm hoping to see some good things from them. They got a lot of blockbusters coming out. They pretty much own all of the major media stations and things like that, so we'll see what happens with them. Intel's starting to recover a little bit from that dip last month. Pepsi's doing pretty good for this month, so up 1.3%. AMD has done some recovery as well. So yeah, up 17%, decent recovery with all these cryptocurrencies and things. They are starting to recover nicely. And then Lending Club, of course, not doing the greatest right now. So Nvidia also been killing it, up 20%. And I think this past month has been, a really good month for them. So up 19%. It's one of those companies, or from what I've heard, a lot of this cryptocurrency mining comes from graphics cards, and from graphics cards, and the good ones are kind of hard to obtain right now, supposedly. But I haven't really looked into the graphics card market on Newegg and things like that. And then ARKW, to me, this is like the safe way of investing into Bitcoin. So about 15% or so of this ETF is in Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin does well, this ETF tends to do well as well. And I was actually also surprised that they had like some kind of a dividend to them. So I think, there's a lot of buying and selling of this one. I kind of messed around with some day trading. Yeah, it's not over here. Or maybe I just don't see it. But yeah, they had a dividend. Yep, there it is, right there. and I didn't even know they had one, so it was an additional $47 on top of a decent amount of gains so far. So I've kind of bought and sold this one uh, as things fluctuated. So yeah, and I started a position in Walmart, just one share for now, but that's already up 3.5%. And in terms of dividends, this is where I'm at right now. I got a decent amount coming in, about $40 or $50 or so, that it's coming in over the next couple of weeks. And then over this last month or so, I've had decent payouts as well. So my payouts have been increasing, and I take those dividends and I reinvest them elsewhere. Eventually, I'm sure Robinhood will get the reinvesting, automatic reinvesting, so I won't have to take losses on some of these because of their capital gains or how I have to file taxes on them. But so far, things have been going pretty well. So I'll be filing my taxes soon, in fact, over the next month or so, and I'll definitely talk about how I file taxes with Robinhood and how things like that work out. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. The month has been pretty good so far, and this is the Millennial Investor signing out. Peace.